Yo guys, what are you all do? Yo guys, I hope you're having a great day today, because today we're gonna do something different on the channel. It's been quite a while since I've uploaded a video. The Burnley career mode will continue, and we'll do it a bit different than you might expect, but that will be coming up soon. But today we're gonna do a reaction video, and it's a bit different. I'm gonna be reacting to Cani's community rant. CaniSports is a career mode YouTuber, if you don't know, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna do something different. I want to make FIFA 17 videos, as the hype is really big for FIFA 17, and I want to talk about FIFA 17 career mode. But this is also something important for me, because I am of course trying to become a successful YouTuber, and then to become a successful YouTuber you need a great community, and the career mode community at the moment isn't great, so I want to react to this video of Cani, because I think this is a great video by him. So let's get into what I have to say, and if I have any remarks on CaniSports himself. The first thing with CaniSports video, and this is actually something I agree on, is that way too many people think that a realistic career mode is when you remake real life. This is a game, this is meant to be your own story. And I think that in the video of Cani, he has his arguments, but he has to do some more. So I'm actually gonna try and help Cani with this video. This might sound like I'm thinking that I'm better than Cani, but I'm totally not. He is the better YouTuber for sure. But I think that people who say realistic, I can understand. If you mean with realistic, you mean, okay, don't sign Ibrahimovic when you are a very small club, but you can get him on a free contract and for very cheap, somehow with some sort of a glitch. Don't do that on a career mode video. I understand that. That is very unrealistic. But then there are people who say, okay, you are Borussia Dortmund, sell that player, buy that player because they did it in real life. That's that is not even fun. This is not what a game is about. But then, when you're doing something like a Leicester City career mode a few months ago, and you won the league with them, they were saying, oh, this is unrealistic, you won it way too soon, you don't have a great team yet. They won it in real life. In real life, football is such a surprising sport. Everything can happen. So in a game that that is a simulator for football, why can't we make it happen in a game? Like, we saw Iceland beat England, we saw Wales go to the semi-final of the Euros. That is all something that wasn't unexpected, but you don't call that unrealistic because you saw it happen. But when it happens in a game, you will all say, oh, this is unrealistic. Or one person says it, and then you're thinking like, yeah, what the fuck is this? How do they actually do that? That's not something that's gonna happen in real life. But in real life, we have all been surprised by performances of teams every year. Like, we are even surprised that Real Madrid come in the final with Atletico Madrid in the final in 3 years' time of the Champions League twice. That is something that's already, you would say, unrealistic, but it did happen. So football is, so to say, unrealistic itself. So that's the first point I'm gonna make. You shouldn't be asking for realistic videos when you're actually asking for something that is not even realistic, because in real life surprises can happen. So my second point is about the sorts of career modes we know. Let's say it like that. We've got, of course, the teams that are already great and we're just having a fun time with, like Chelsea, Bayern Munich, Borussia Dortmund. They have already a great team, but we're trying to make it even better and win the league with a team that is already a contender to win the league and win the Champions League and stuff in 1 or 2 seasons. But then there's also career modes with mid-table teams where we try to do it in like 2 seasons or maybe 3, where we try to build a bigger team. Like, that's something you see happen in real life every now and then. So you could say that's maybe not so unrealistic. But then there is the Road to Glory team. Like, if you do a Portsmouth career mode and you go back to back into the Premier League in as short a time as possible, that's already very unrealistic, because the chances of a team in the League 2 getting to the Premier League in 4 years' time is so low. So you are expecting a Road to Glory. But in a Road to Glory, if you want to do it realistic, as you guys are saying realistic, then you are actually trying to be signing players that are of the same sort of rating, or better players but who are very old, so you can't use them in the future because their rating will start dropping off, because that's how FIFA works. So a Road to Glory career mode is impossible. And now take, for example, the Masterbucks. He has to do a Road to Glory every single year. He has to do that J-Buck medalist award every single season. You can't do that if you want a realistic kind of career mode. A Road to Glory can't be realistic almost, because in real life it's almost impossible to do it in that amount of time that we are trying to do it on this FIFA video. So that's my second point, with which I'm actually agreeing on with. I'm actually fully agreeing with Cani right here. By the way, I want to mention that I'm not gonna say that Cani has said anything wrong, because I don't think he has. But that way we are making the Road to Glory videos and career modes impossible. So it has to be unrealistic that way. So realism is impossible and makes it very, very boring, because Portsmouth you will have to do until the end of career mode, and you will be a decent, not even a great Premier League side with, for example, Portsmouth. Now for my third point, which was noted very, very shortly in Cani's video, he was talking about the potential of players in the game. He was talking about, if you do an Italian career mode, you have to sign Italian players, but there are not so many Italian career modes with players with high potential, because that's just how the game works. It does only give a select amount of players a very high potential. So then everybody gets the same team. And I want to talk about that more in depth, because it's also EA that's making the game unrealistic in career mode. Because we can't sign players with no potential, because potential is set. Like, this is all things that Cani mentioned very, very briefly. He's talked about this before actually. But if EA sets a potential for players that are hyped in real life, but actually haven't performed to a very great level, but just are young and have something about them, they will get monstrous potential. But a player that's never heard of before, but is 16 years old and like 60 rated, only has a 70 something potential, even though he might in the future become one of the best players in the world. And then your video is super unrealistic, because you can't get these players up very high. So it should be based on, how do you call it? I'm sorry, it should be based on performance, but the player goes up in their rating. Like, Cani mentioned this very shortly, but that's EA's fault, and this was a community rant, of course. But I was willing to do this more in depth. So yeah, players do need to be growing on their, how do you call it, their performance. I'm very, very sorry, I can't talk right now. They need to grow on their performance, not on a set potential and their age. Well, age should matter, of course. Like a 16-year-old, there should be some sort of a growth factor for a younger player. So how younger you are, the easier it is to grow, and the older you are, the easier it is to drop off in rating. But it shouldn't be that a 30-year-old who is scoring 10 goals in every 10 games can drop off very, very fast just because he's 30 years old. Like, take Ibrahimovic. If you take him on career mode, he will start dropping off after your first season, despite him scoring 40 goals in the league. But yeah, he is on age, so yeah, EA says he's gonna drop down, otherwise it becomes unrealistic to them. But that's just super unrealistic. So that's point number 3, which I want to mention in this video. So for my fourth point, I want to talk about a bit more about EA. If you're not gonna give us every stadium in the fucking game, then how are we meant to do it realistic? Yeah, but that's something you don't care about. But I do honestly care about stadiums in the game. Like, this is not something comment to the community. This is something I just wanted to mention in this video, and how to make career mode as realistic as possible, at the same time keeping them fun. Because we don't have all the stadiums, and I don't mind the smaller teams not having them stadiums, but clubs like Wolfsburg and Athletic Club Bilbao need their own stadiums in the game. And now EA got the license for the Bundesliga, but they only added like 3 stadiums. They have now also gotten the license for La Liga, so I'm expecting a lot from their for making player faces as well as stadiums, because I think this is a lack in realism in this career mode. Now point number 5 is the community itself. The community sees one comment from a person who just has an opinion, which is alright, and they all of a sudden share that opinion. But what they don't do is actually think about what it will mean to the content of a FIFA YouTuber, or should I say a career mode YouTuber, or career mode itself. because career mode is dying off a little bit because of Ultimate Team, and FIFA career mode used to be the biggest thing in FIFA. Like when Ultimate Team just came around, lots of people that played FIFA were playing the how this is called, career mode, because that was the only actual sort of story mode or mode that was rewarding and you couldn't do it in the long term on FIFA. So people were playing that one, but now with FUT, people think like, okay, it's just now we can do all this trading and stuff. But then we have the community. We have a select community in the career mode because less people are interested in career mode than in the past. That's just a thing. But then there is one guy who says this is unrealistic, but he doesn't know what is how realistic you can make a FIFA game. We see all this bullshit happen in the game itself. Players throwing balls into their keepers, throwing balls into their own goal all of a sudden without making the movement to do so. And then we just say, okay, that's just EA, but that's unrealistic as well. So a career mode is automatically unrealistic because this is a video game. We can't make this super realistic because it would take too long. But then the community, or a part of community, should I say, this is like at max a 10th of the community. Like it's no more than 10% for sure. And they're still watching the video, so that's great. But they are always moaning about the realism. And when you are doing realism, like it's fun. Okay, I get it. You don't want to see Ibrahimovic go to Portsmouth all of a sudden. Like, I'm using the same examples for a few months of time because they are things that you can actually somehow do with some sorts of glitches. But we don't want to see that because that's just never gonna happen in real life. But if we're gonna making signings that are happening in real life, we have to wait for every single transfer window to make our own transfers. And that way we could only upload a video half a year. And then the community would also be moaning because there is no video. Like, you can do gameplay in the time that the other teams are doing gameplay, but that's also unrealistic because if you are winning a lot of games with, let's say, Newcastle in this case, and you are actually becoming the Europa League champions or something with them, which they have the team to do it, but they will say it's unrealistic because they're relegated in real life. But we don't want to be doing the same thing as the teams are doing in real life. We want to have our own story. This is the closest thing in FIFA right now that comes to a story mode. Of course, we're getting an actual story mode in FIFA 17. But this is our story, our career mode story. And if we have to put realism in that, then it's just the story of what happened in real life. And then it's not our video, it's what happened. We're just remaking the actual life. And then it's just not a video game anymore, then it's just an actual simulator. And we are trying to play this game for fun, so yeah, the community doesn't really always know what they are actually trying to say. And they're forgetting that this is something else than real life. If you want some realistic football, just go watch the Euros. Like, watch the semi-final of today. I don't know if I uploaded this video on the Thursday that I'm recording next. Tonight is the Italy-Germany, the France-Germany game. But go watch that. Watch the final of the Euros. That is realistic football. But therefore we have a TV. So you're gonna watch that, or you're gonna even play it yourself, but you're not gonna watch career mode for realism because it's a flipping video game. Like, if you watch COD videos or any other video game, are you thinking about realism? No, you're thinking about entertainment. So please stop saying this on career mode videos, because on career mode videos we are going for entertainment as well. That's what a whole YouTube video is about, entertainment. Or am I wrong saying that? I don't think I am, because yeah, that's what entertainment or what YouTube videos are meant for. If you've got such a community, it's meant for entertainment, not for having a simulator, because that's just no entertainment. That just becomes very boring after 2 days already. So this was the video, guys. If you agree with me, a like would be highly appreciated. Actually, if you agree with the community being a bit too much about realism, then smash a like on the video. If you think the community is alright like this, or career mode videos need to be more realistic, then drop a dislike on this video. And I will see you in the next one. Goodbye.